Good evening to you, Mr. Mabona, and thank you so much for speaking to us. A very disturbing story, no doubt, for all watching and parents who experienced this. The MEC himself saying that he was devastated. Has there been any more new information forthcoming?
Thank you very much. Said indeed. Look, we don't have any additional information. Like, as the MEC has already indicated that there will be an independent, team that is investigating this matter. Like, as you would have known that previously we had incidences at Parktown, and we appointed independent law firms to investigate. So he's going that route. But as you will know that the HOD of the department must facilitate that process through our legal team. They will have to do that. And he said that within probably 3 months, there will be a final report that will be giving us more information.
MEC asked to be taken through the day, the planning and the activities. So I am still trying to understand why at this stage it's still not clear, A, how many teachers were present and whether or not life jackets were given. Surely that should be something that the school itself should be able to provide proof of.
No, look, the MEC explained that the situation did not really allow for him to probe and ask some of the questions because, remember, the child was still missing and they only, found the child around 11. That's when they then realized that, okay, indeed the child drowned. So it was difficult for him to ask a lot of questions because they were not even sure, or he was not sure whether, the child drowned because the circumstances around the drowning as well. That's why he decided that, look, we need an independent probe here to ask questions where there are gaps because there are so many gaps.
Indeed, there are, because if we know that there were children who were thrown overboard and it was not clear that, this boy, Enoch, was not detected as missing or was not found. So that's very concerning, just from somebody who is a bystander at this point. Were teachers not aware how many children were on board the raft?
No, look, that's why we'll put an emphasis that an independent probe will really assist us to get to the bottom of it and understand on what transpired here. The police as well, they've already started with their probe, and we understand that they've already taken some of the statements from educators that were there and some of the employees at the lodge. So they will be in a position to can probably assist us as well. But we said we're not going to wait for the police investigation to complete. We'll probe, we have our own probe, where we'll then be informed on what is the way forward. And
okay. So does the school itself have protocols on what happens or what procedure is undertaken when children not only are taken near water, but during orientation and activities itself? Are they vetted?
Any trip that is undertaken or any camp or any activity that will be taken outside the school need an approval from the district. If it's a trip that will be within the province, and if it's an inter-provincial activity, the HOD need to approve that.
Do they submit a plan?
And they must submit, they motivate on why they are going to do whatever the camp they are doing. But MEC has already flagged that maybe one thing that we need to look at and change is to go in detail on the trip itself. What is it that you're going to do in terms of the entire program? What is it that you're going to do from day one up until you finish the program? So that's
because
what is lacking.
You can't approve something that you only have a vague idea of. I mean, if you're a parent and you say to a child, it's fine for you to go out, you would seek those details. Where are you going? With whom are you going? How are you getting there? When are you back? Etc. All of those finite details.
Those are revealed in the forms that they will normally give to parents because they need to approve, they need to sign, they need to give a consent to say, yes, indeed, we agree that our children must go there. So an element of probe or
specificity, that is what is lacking, because I've seen some of those forms and they don't necessarily go into detail.
Yes, indeed. I mean, that's why we considered that probably we need to look thorough into what is it that you're going to do there, and be in a position to can say, no, we're not going to allow this one.
Okay,
but
so let's talk about
MEC will then approve the international trips also as well. They will come with programs on what is it that they're going to do. And he will decline some of the requests that schools will then be putting on the table. So the level of approval and the detail in terms of what is it that you're going to have as a program, that's where we need to really focus.
Okay, now let's look at the family. We obviously saw those very heart-wrenching pictures of the parents. How are they faring? How do they feel about what has happened? Are they as frustrated as some of the other parents that we've seen, especially around what they say are worrying conditions at Parktown?
Look, we are also concerned. I mean, the parents raise genuine concerns, and we really need to consider all those concerns that are raised. There are those parents that will be saying, but their report initially said you don't need to conduct your orientation in this fashion or in the other fashion. So we need to go back and say, what is it that the report said? The report said you can't have an initiation. If it's an initiation, it was disallowed, and the report was very clear, and we said it, that we can't do an initiation. But in this instance, they said it's not an initiation, it's an orientation where we take through the learners on how they need to be assisting each other in terms of the team building in this new environment that they're coming in. So that's why we say the independent probe then will be assisting us indeed on whether they conform to that this was not an initiation, because some parents feel very strongly that this is part of an initiation, which we have said very clear that we cannot allow an initiation, because you will know that the previous cases emanate from water polo coach, where there was some initiation and there was an element of abuse came there. So the report was very clear that we cannot allow such to happen.
Okay, so now one of the other parents also raising the matter that he has suspicions, or his understanding was that it was the matriculants that were looking after these younger children. Is there any credence to that?
No, indeed, there was a confirmation that the matriculants were not going to look after the learners, but they were going to give them the programs as per the leaders in the school. Remember, these are the new entrants in the school. So the matriculants as leaders, they would have given them a program on how to conduct themselves, or any other program that would have been there on the table. That's an explanation that we have. But then probably then the probe will also assist us to venture deeply into that, to say, indeed, was it a program that they were supposed to be conducting, or at some point they were left with these learners by themselves to take care of them? Those we need to give the independent probe an opportunity to assist us.
All right, thank you very much for your time and giving clarity on some of those questions. Gauteng Education spokesperson Steve Mabona. Now, still on that issue, the Gauteng Education MEC